Okay, so I'm here with Michael Blackhart and Ryan Fricke, who I have been calling Ryan Frick for months. And
That's all right.
You haven't corrected me.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't heard me say it, actually. I only talk about you behind your back.
Okay, perfect.
But-
Hey, that works.
Good, thank you for
Yeah.
having us in. They just opened up an amazing theater and magic shop downtown in Wichita, Kansas called...
Blackhart's Magic Theater and Shop.
Okay, so what made this, how did this come about?
Caught the magic bug and it never wore off my entire life. Here in Wichita, we're very, very, very fortunate that we have Stevens Magic here in Wichita. A global leader, has been for the last 30 years, the maker, the inventors of the Wichita Conclave, which was a conference here in the late 70s that eventually ended up evolving into the Desert Magic Seminar, which has evolved today into
Magic Live.
Magic Live.
Yeah.
And so,
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the history.
Really?
That's the history. Yeah, back in the late 70s, Di Vernon, Fawcett Ross, Slidini, I mean, everybody would converge. It was almost like a 4F.
Yeah.
And when they outgrew it, they had to bounce to Vegas. Now, the thing is that growing up in Wichita in the 80s, the 70s crowd had already gone to Vegas. So we didn't have that annual conference that guys my age grew up with. So we were left with our IBM ring, which back in those days was less than spectacular. It was more of a supper club and a dinner club where people just went and watched a few tricks and applauded, and there wasn't really an opportunity to session. So for me, working for Joe and Mark and Martha back in the days at Stevens Magic, I didn't really have the fantastic opportunity to sit with all of these greats, except for when they came through town to do an entry for the Greater Magic Video Library, for example. And so my time was very limited. But the one resource I did have was Joe. And everyone that knows Joe Stevens. And everyone that knows Joe, Joe is not an award-winning sleight of hand master. He's never won FISM. He's never won a gold trophy at IBM for his stage presentations. But there's one thing that everybody can agree on, is that Joe's a fantastic businessman. And he's a fantastic businessman in the magic vertical. And so that's who I had to session with. That's what I learned. So when I learned secrets, I wasn't learning secrets of how is this 3-card Monty routine structured. It was, how do I do good business with magicians? And so since I was 9 years old, that has been where I wanted to be. Was I didn't just want to be a magician, I want to be a friend of magicians, and I want magicians to call me their friend, and I want to be in that business. I want it to be my life. And so fast forward to today, I stopped performing magic around the collegiate level, around the time when you see all the hot girls going for the jocks and the guys that drive fancy cars, and not so much for the guys with decks of cards. And I went the route of entrepreneurialism. And through that, I've owned several different businesses throughout the last couple of decades, and I owe everything to magic as far as my success in those industries. And just recently, we came upon a situation where one of the industries that I have a business in, my flagship industry, the one that brings the majority of income to me every year, it was jeopardized through over-regulation of the government. So I had to look at myself in the mirror, and I had to say, okay, we're going to start from scratch again. So why aren't we doing what we love? What do we love the most? And I looked at myself and I said, let's go back to our roots. Let's go back to what makes you happy. And that phrase, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Do what you love, do what you love. Sitting here right now with you doing this is what I love. Just being in the room with other magicians, being around people constantly now that I can honestly say are on the same level, so to speak. There's so many subtleties that you apply from magic to the business world that these guys are marks out there as far as I'm concerned. These guys are suckers. I'm applying Banachek principles in real world business that I get what I want and nobody's the wiser. But you know what? I was tired of it. It's effortless. You can do it all day long. I want it to be real. And this, for the first time, has allowed me to be real, to be comfortable in my own skin for the first time. I can literally expose to the world, nanny nanny boo boo, I succeeded at all those things. Here's why. I'm a magician! And of course, all of these people that have known me for the last 20 years that have seen me build these businesses, they're calling me up and I got a text the other day that says, okay, everything makes sense now. So that's kind of where this came to be.
Great. And Ryan, how are you involved in all of this?
Well, with me, I've been in magic probably the greater portion of 20 plus years. And it's just been something that I've loved. It's something that I've done. I've worked in numerous different fields. I've consulted some with Stevens Magic. I've worked for 9+ years as a demo magician at US Toy and constructed playthings in the Leawood, Kansas City area. And so I've been working in and around magic for a long time. Started in high school, and as far as with Mike, it was actually a weird connection because of Stevens.
Yeah.
Which was kind of, I mean, I've known Mike for 14 plus years probably.
Yeah, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, and but I had no idea he was doing this until I was like searching around, and I was talking to Mark, and he's like, well, I think there's an opportunity. I mean, and I don't want to say too much because I don't know if it's going to start or if it's going to happen, but he's like, you're one of the first people that I thought of. And so I was talking about it, and sure enough, it comes down the pipeline that I get back connected with Mike, and he's the one that's the opportunity that Mark and Joe Stevens were talking to me about. You know, because they're like, well, we have a friend who's going to be starting their own magic shop potentially and seeing how that's going to go. And you know, like, here's the opportunity that we have envisioned for you. And we kind of got back in touch that way after many years of not really being around or talking to each other for various reasons. And so, yeah, that was what kind of drove me here. And then it was just a matter of just having business communication with Mike here and
he was out of state at the time, too.
Yeah.
So when we connected, it took us all about 3 conversations to where we decided that he was moving back.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I
lived in Oklahoma, towards Arkansas, like towards the Silent Springs area.
Really?
And so
you're back here for this?
And yeah, specifically for this, to help to grow a business, to grow an empire, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's what we're wanting to do. But yeah, like he brought us back, me and my family back, specifically for this job and to build and grow and to do what it is that we want to envision for this place going forward 10, 20 years down the road. So
cool. So given that, when did all of this come into play? Like when did you guys start talking about opening a business together? When did you move?
I think we opened up a line of dialogue maybe 6 months or so ago.
Yeah, it's about 6 months or so ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you lived in Wichita?
A little over a month.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, about a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had lived here previous up until about 12 years ago,
Sure.
And then I moved out to pursue other things and to work at US Toy, and then so we parted ways from Wichita, and so came back here, and just a little over a month ago to start on this venture with Michael.
So what is and I'll take this from both of you, but what is the most fulfilling, but also the most frustrating thing about opening up a magic shop in particular?
I can take frustrating.
There's a pile of those.
You know what? Coming back to that, do what you love and never work a day in your life. You know, it's almost like having a significant other that you love so very, very, very much, and no matter what they do, it doesn't truly anger you. You know, it might perturb you somewhat. Does it truly anger you? And in that same regard, with this, there's nothing that's popped up that's been that horrible other than just the absolute terror that is this going to work in this area? You know, in so many different areas, magic has not been front and center. And you know, even 5 years ago, I think there was only, you know, how many? 5, 6, 7 magic theaters, full-blown magic theaters across the U.S. Fast forward to today, there's many, 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 many more. But there is always, even in a town of Wichita, where there's 500,000 people, and we don't have that many options for stage, live entertainment on a stage, there's still that creeping suspicion of, is this going to work or not? You know, especially in towns where we have a lot of friends that are opening up other theaters, and they're somewhat like us in other towns, to where previous to the Magic Theater being there, you might go ask the local girl at the 7-Eleven, hey, what's there to do in town? Well, you know you have a problem when their first reaction is, well, Dave & Buster's is here, you know, or a major chain.
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
that was something that's terrified us. You know, we're through week number 1. You know, yourself and Robert Watkins helped us to have a tremendous opening, but still, until we see for ourselves over the course of the next 90 days, 6 months, there's just going to be that terrifying feeling that we are 1 inch away from having a room with only 1 spectator in it. But that's what drives us to book our restaurant gigs, where we're constantly promoting, and to book the television appearances, and to, you know, it's a constant, the throttle has to be 100% open at all times, because the second that you let off that throttle so much as at all is the first day you're going to end up with 2 people in your theater, and you have entertainers to pay. And so I would say that's the most frustrating or terrifying thing, would just be the unknown. You know, it's just a new thing. It's like space travelers going up not knowing where their destination is. You know? Yeah. So I think that would be probably the most frustrating thing, because there's really not a playbook for what we're doing here. You know, at least no one's written one yet.
Exactly.
Maybe we can after we're done.
That sounds like a good project.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and for I'd say I agree with that 110% with the frightening aspect of it too. But fulfilling is, I feel like we get to do what we love. We get to do what we love. We get to be around performers, professionals. I get to connect with friends that I've only connected with via Facebook. You know, or you know, like Watkins, him and I have known each other for, I don't know, probably 3 years on social media, but I've never had the opportunity to meet him in person.
Right.
You know, so it gives a great opportunity for FaceTime and really coming together and developing actual friendships.
Yeah.
I would just have to say that just to put it in very clear terms, for me personally, what this is doing right now, and it starts once again with you guys, is it's turning admiration into friendships for me personally.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to have somebody like yourself that truly I admire, you know, I mean, I think there's a picture of you on this wall already somewhere before you even got here. So to have you come as someone that I put your picture on the wall because I admired you, and to have you leave as a friend, to think that we're going to do that every single week with someone new. By the end of this year, I don't care if we don't make a single nickel. We will be the richest guys in magic by the end of this year.
Right. And how nice was it? I mean, we went and, you know, we went around town and spread the word and whatever, but you guys filled this house for us like 2 out of the 3 nights. How was that, seeing a nice full crowd in your Magic Theater?
That was phenomenal. It helped to, just like he said, you know, like we can't give up, and we can't like put the, you know, let off the throttle, but it is certainly one of those things that it gave us a lot of pride and a lot of happiness, because it was like this is something people are willing to come out and see, and this isn't such a horrible decision that we only have 2 people, and it's happening.
It's already happening.
Exactly, and
and
it's
the
real.
Smiles.
Yeah.
The smiles. It's not just that they were in the seats.
Yeah.
It's the kind of smile that was permanently stuck on their face when they were walking out the front door. We made these people feel like they were children again this weekend.
Oh yeah, and they loved it. There were no complaints. I mean, everything that we've ever heard from anybody has been super positive. You know, so we're super excited about the direction that this is heading. getting you guys back here to do more, and again, just booking up as much as we can.
I'll speak for myself and Watkins. You guys have some major big things on the horizon because this place was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you very much.
And I don't think you have anything to be afraid of, but stay fearful if that's what's driving you. That's going to help pedal to the metal, man. So, any closing remarks for anyone watching this? Probably the magic community primarily.
I would just say that our heart is pure, and if you are if you're a traveling performer coming through the Wichita area, even if we've never met each other before on Facebook, even or any of the social media channels, please reach out to us. We're not just here to make dollars; we're here to make friendships. And as long as we, our outlook is a lot from. I hate to bring the business and interject that in, but I think it was Zig Ziglar, somebody that said, "You can have everything you ever wanted out of your life as long as you help other people get what they want." And so that's what we want to do. We want to keep working with guys and helping their careers out and giving them a landing place where we can make them be larger in life in our mid-sized town of Wichita, Kansas. And we're hoping that as long as we stay focused on helping other guys, then that help is going to come full circle, and we'll see fruition to everything that we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you heard it here first. If you got a show, give Blackhart's Magic Theater a call. I can speak for myself and Watkins. We opened the theater this last weekend. It was an amazing experience. These guys are awesome to work with. They'll give you everything you need. All right?
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ryan, Fricke, thank you very much.
Yes, no problem. Yeah, thank you.